and let's go.
And now it's time for Bikes, Mikes, and Idiots with your hosts, Ubi and Eric.
Alrighty, guys. Here we go with part 2 of this episode.
Alrighty, guys. Here we go with part 2 of this episode.
It begins again.
Apparently, it's been one of those days.
My mic doesn't work.
Yeah. So this is going to be a 2-part episode for everybody watching. We're going to have a good time. The second part is going to end up being a little bit more bro mode here. We're going to actually be ourselves a little bit more instead of being serious.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the topics we were talking about earlier, super serious, like excellent things for us to cover. Great charities and beneficiaries for us to work with. But yeah, we're gonna kind of bro mode it a little bit as we go on, and you know, kind of lighten things up before the end of the new year.
And we still got Steve here with us. Do you wanna do a reintroduction?
Yeah. So once again, Steve, welcome. He's one of the founding members, or oh wow, I can't speak now. He's a co-owner of 51fifty Rifles. Works with the Chad O Foundation. Does a lot. How about I have him introduce himself?
I was about to say, you want to just say his name and let him introduce
So
himself?
we got Stephen Cleverly here, director of sales and one of the co-owners of 51fifty Rifles. We've been talking with him for the last little bit about the charities and stuff that he supports. So once again, let's get a real quick intro.
All right, Steve, go ahead and
real quick intro. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Steve Cleverly with 51fifty Rifles. I am, I guess, the business development officer of that company. We have been in the firearms industry 10 years now. We had our start working with nothing but first responder and veteran charities. And I am blessed to say that to date, we've raised almost $500,000 for veterans and first responders.
Awesome. That's
had to hit that one for
yeah,
you.
that was our crowd.
That works.
We've got a crowd now, you know. God just showed
right.
up. God's back home. I could hear her. I locked her out of the garage.
Hello, God.
She couldn't come in. Hello, God. Oh, God. So I'm sure something will happen. She'll walk out here to get a soda, and you'll hear us. Oh, hi,
Sure.
God. But so once again, long distance shooter, does awesome stuff for the veterans community. Firearms are amazing. Some proprietary stuff that they've done here with the I'm going to call it the M4 platform, but the AR platform. And an advocate for mental health awareness, and works with one of my amazing friends as well, is Tanya Glenn. So, all right, so
we'll hit it. Let's hit a little gap.
Bromancing?
So yeah. We'll hit a little gap, and then that way we can cut back into it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so we were talking about. So you took me to lunch.
Oh,
and
yes.
This is where.
This is the
46.
possible 46. You know, so he says 46-year-olds are too old, and my wife and the wife was like,
Dangerous.
"Oh yeah, I set him up. I mean, it was I threw him a nice softball where he could have just said, you know, that would be a great age. The women there have have everything of their wits about them. That's what it all came about. Because
yes. Okay.
So
okay,
yes, I remember what it is. So I got called the misogynistic then.
Hold that down.
And I know exactly what it is now.
Let's start this from the beginning, because there's a portion we ended up having to clip.
Oh yes.
So let's start from the beginning on this
yeah.
topic.
So the wife and I took Ubi out for his birthday, and so we're sitting there, and he had just gotten out of like a relationship with a girl, and my wife's like, well, you know, you should pick somebody up who's like 45. They're going to have their wits about them. They know what's going on in the world. And he's like, ooh, that's kind of old. And she was like, I'm 46.
Yeah.
So I set him up so bad. It was unbelievable. And then he
backed me into a corner.
So I'm like, oh, what? My wife doesn't look good at 46? And he was like, I never gave him a chance to answer.
That's the thing. What do you answer to that? Honestly, what would you say if you...
Oh God, dude, that is like, let's face it. If No, I'm gonna be nice.
Okay, so put yourself in my shoes. You're 37.
Oh, dude, I was chasing girls when you were yellow. But I
Either way,
mean, come
put
on
yourself
now.
in
I
that
mean,
situation.
37, 46. I can't. No, I'm not going to dispute that. I'm sorry. I gotta adhere with God's word in this one,
Oh,
and
God.
and say that that's probably not a bad investment.
Yep.
Not saying that. Okay, so my point was I wasn't going
Oh,
to
so
that.
is 46 too old for you?
I didn't say that.
Oh, you basically did with your face. But,
But
so
the thing is,
All right, so it's better than going younger. I will say that.
yes. No, he likes it. I'm not going to give it. No, I'm not going to Epstein him. I was going to say something really bad that would put you. I was going to say a really, really bad joke from the day, and I'm not going to do that on here because that would.
Don't put them in harm's way. Eric.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
all right.
I mean, a little bit younger is not too bad, but at the same time,
No,
looking at
Terrible idea.
it's a horrible idea.
I guess it
And
depends.
all right, so here's the reason why, and this is psychobabble if you want to take it that.
All right.
Women, you're 37, which means, holy sweet Jesus, I was 12 when you were born. So you got to factor in that either they've been through hell and back, and they're just waiting for some dude to settle down,
Yeah.
or the fact if you go younger, been there, done that, they want to go out and freaking party, and that's not the environment you want.
So it depends on how much younger, though. I guess you're going at.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
Okay,
37
so, I
going
mean,
after 35, okay.
Yeah,
You're in the
okay,
same-
so you
that's the
have
same
that
age
5.
range.
I call it the 5-year threshold. Especially when going younger.
Yeah.
You just you don't play that game.
Otherwise, if you go beyond, like, I'll give you that 5-year threshold because they're in a whole different place in their life.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
No.
You know, if you 37, them 46, I'm going to agree with God's word and say that is probably a smart play because they've got
They know what
they
they
got a
want.
sense on what they want. They've got their career set up.
And they're going to teach
there's-
you some things that you thought you knew.
Amen.
Yes.
I'll give that. I'll give that portion, but in the same realm, you look at a lot of the women that are mid 40s around here. Not saying around the world, but just around here. There is the exceptions. There is that little group. Most of them are already married, whatever, that take care of themselves real well.
Yeah.
A lot of them look like
That's why you go hook up with girls from a gym. You don't go to
No,
a bar
no.
where
So,
you go
bro,
pick
I'm
them
gonna
up.
have to disagree with you on this.
Yeah.
So the whole gym crush thing, no.
No.
So I'm with him
It's
on
probably
this.
better than the bar crush, though, because.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going by, like, if his normal way is go to a bar. We want to thank one of our founding sponsors who helped make all this possible. The Legion of St. Michael Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club International is a 501c3 charitable organization that focuses on first responder and military families in need.
The Legion of St. Michael was founded in 2014 in Chicago, Illinois, in memory of fallen officers. If you are interested in helping to support the Legion of St. Michael in their endeavors to assist first responders and military families, please reach out to a local chapter or contact the Idiots for a link for donations.
But yeah, like, bar, not a good place to pick up somebody. Just not.
No, absolutely not. And I will tell you from a $25,000 plus a house divorce, it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
There's the rare occasion that does work out, right? For people, bar, gym, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we're also in an era now where you can't pick up a woman at like a grocery store. You can't pick
that's
up
a
a
valid
woman
point.
just, like, you really can't.
You have to do what my wife and I met on the internet back before internet dating was a thing.
Okay, so I'll
So we've been
give him
together
that.
19 years now.
World of Warcraft?
No.
Yeah, over
No, it was it was Hot or Not.
Hot or
That's
not?
where we met, on Hot or Not.
Oh, all right.
So then
Well,
you
you know
remember that
what?
old website, right? Like you'd go in there,
Yeah.
you'd rate people's pictures
Yeah.
and stuff, and
Okay, now
I
no,
that's
I'm curious.
yeah. I didn't venture into that realm, but okay.
well, I was a single guy in nowhere, Arizona at the time, so
Yeah, well, no, and I agree with that.
so we went on there and you'd rate pictures, and then like if you were a paid member, like I paid $5 a month or whatever it was to be a paid member, so I could email girls that I had met and met a lot of girls for hookups, and then my wife actually messaged me
Oh, wow.
and said, "Hey, I'm moving out to this area. And do you know anybody out there?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I've lived out here for X number of years, blah, 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 blah." And she ended up moving in with her grandparents, and I ended up meeting her at her grandparents' house to help her set up her home office or whatever it was at the time. I know it was
Sure.
her home office. And from there we ended up getting, staying together, getting married, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I'm all for that.
It's rare. That doesn't normally happen.
No.
No, you are a unicorn.
Yes. Yes. I'm
I'm
a 10
all
on the
for.
hot scale and a 10 on the not crazy scale. I'm a unicorn. Oh no, that's
Dude,
a
I've got a face made for radio.
yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things that I am a firm believer in fate.
Yes.
I try not to force things. But yeah, I mean, I met the most important woman in my life, because of fate. So I mean, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, and I think
God, I hate that
that
saying.
just kind of worked out with me and God as well. She it just because I'm one of those weird things that it just happened to work out. And I think
Yep.
it's because her. I think the only reason it worked out is because her grandparents really liked me, so they kept asking me back.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it was.
They could think you're a complete hat, but the parents and the grandparents love you. So,
Oh yeah,
So it kinda-
yeah, exactly. So I
Gives you-
fooled her long enough to sucker her into a marriage.
Yep.
So I have to throw this out because it's been said like 5 times this whole time. It is what it is. I hate it. I hate it. I hate that saying. It's
Oh
like
my
one of
God,
my pet
is what it
peeves.
is. Drives me nuts.
You said it like 10 times.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
when you were
Oh,
shooting.
sweet peaceful Jesus.
Yeah, when you watch this afterwards, you're gonna go back and watch the playback. You're gonna be like, "Oh no, I said that."
That's literally one. But all right. So in all reality, that is. I hate that phrase with a passion.
Me too.
But I've come to realization that what, God has a hand in everything, and it's going to be what it's going to be,
Yeah,
and we don't know what His plan is.
Yeah. So me and Eric had this out
you go wild.
first or
bro.
second. Yeah. First or second episode, we kind of had this out. So it's an open thing. People know that I don't like that saying, and it all comes
I'm
down
just
to.
gonna keep saying it because
Yeah, I know. I should have never said anything.
Well, I mean, that is what it is.
Both of you.
Yeah,
Yes. Boop. It's just one of those things. And I think it came
it's
from that.
what it
No.
is.
So it came from. So it was probably when I was in high school.
So,
When
like
people
in
started-
2004.
Actually, yes, I was still in high
tell
school.
me how you
You
feel.
got to be kidding me! I hate this dude.
I was.
This
still-
is therapy. Tell me how you feel.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez, no, but it was. People used to say that kind of as a let me brush it off. That it doesn't bother me, but you could physically see that it bothered them.
No, you could not be any more correct with that statement that you just made.
So that's why it bothered me so much is because don't say something that it is what it is, meaning it doesn't bother me, because that's what people would say. It doesn't bother me. It is what it is. And it really does bother you. It really does
Yeah.
affect you. It has this hold on you.
Yeah,
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
so that's why I don't like it. It's not. It is what it is. It is what you make of it.
Okay,
Very
so you
I'll
hit the
agree.
nail on the head. Before our call in this podcast, I saw a post that was almost exactly like that. They said saying the phrase that is what it is you accepting something outside of the normal law of expectations.
Yeah.
And I don't care for that so much.
yeah.
So my thing about it is that it is what you make of it. So my best metaphor for it, or whatever you want to call it, is say you have this huge boulder. You have a certain size backyard,
Yes.
and this huge boulder that takes up 80% of your backyard.
Is it a rock?
It is a rock. But there's no way they can get it out of your backyard. They can't crane it out. Yes, rock. They can't crane it out. They can't do anything. They can't get it out. And you're like, it is what it is. But it obviously bothers you because it takes up so much for your yard. And that's, I think that's the best metaphor I've been able to come up with it. And you could actually make it a feature of your backyard. Or you could just say, I can't do anything. My backyard's tiny now.
Well, you know how the statue of Michelangelo was made, right?
Uh-oh.
Fantastic example.
They chipped away every piece of the rock that wasn't Michelangelo.
Yep.
I was expecting something. Okay.
It's
I was
deep.
expecting worse.
It's deep.
I was expecting worse.
I know.
No, I won't give him too much credit, but that was fantastic.
Why, thank you. Well, thank you very much.
But that's the thing, is like you could make that rock a feature of your backyard.
Yeah,
You could decorate it a certain way, make it into kind of like a playground for the kids or whatever it may be. But it is what you make of it.
Did you put a soft little thing around it? Otherwise, CPS will take you away for not having an unsafe playground in your backyard.
Okay, Mister.
And topiaries or whatever.
Yeah,
Mister wanted a tank in his backyard.
Oh, I totally wanted a tank,
dude. Can you imagine putting a Sherman in the back of your yard?
That would be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
I was telling him what I would do is I would hook up a screen so when I play World of Tanks on Xbox, that I would be sitting in a tank playing World of Tanks.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm in.
Would actually be pretty
So maybe the three of us need to want to do one of those tank experiences where we get to go actually fire a Sherman.
That would be
So, I mean, I know the owner of I Shoot Guns or whatever it is out in Vegas that does the helicopter stuff. I don't know about I Shoot Tanks.
cool too, though.
Helicopter would be cool too.
That would be cool too.
Dude, all right. And I know we're getting off topic, but
absolutely.
So the first week I moved down here in Texas, Gila Gunner did an event down here in Central Texas that I said, well, I got to go check it out. He put me on the outside of a little bird. Oh. Not in the seat.
Yep.
On the outside of the flipping aircraft.
Oh, so you got to sit on the skid and the side.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That was awesome.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
So, like, I've actually had to get out of our little birds before because we used to have them in our agency as well, and going up to the top of a mountain, and they're like, "Hey, we can't hover for very long because it doesn't have the power to hover at this altitude. So you have like 4 seconds to jump off the skid." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "We're going," and they go hauling up, and they're like, "Okay, we're going to spin it, and we're going to yell at you, and then you just step off. Don't jump because there's a blade above your head." I'm like, "Oh God!" And you just like, they're like, "Go, go!" and you just slide off the skid, and it was like you land, and then it just like it falls like a rock, and then finally catches enough air.
It wasn't so bad until the guy banked about here,
and you're looking at the ground,
and I'm staring at Earth.
Yeah. You've got Earth in front of you, the sky behind you, and one tiny little web strap holding your back in.
But the bad part about it was like he's like, no, I got it. But rocks were hitting him in the feet when we were going through a creek bottom.
Oh,
and I'm like, bro, this is what's going on. Don't worry, I got it. He comes out and we're having lunch. I said, so what do you do? And he told me, and I said, okay. And I step aside and make a call, and I'm like, as I vet everybody, and he's like, yeah, tell that thank you.
Yeah.
He used to get my guys out of and suck.
Well, and the thing is, it's like as soon as he lands, you're like, oh, I mean,
right. The pucker factor goes away.
Oh yeah. The only reason you didn't fall out of the helicopter is because you sucked so hard in it suctioned you to the side of the chopper.
Exactly.
We've joked about that. I had I was a driving instructor for our agency at our academy, and I had a student take me into a corner way too hot. Like, we're doing 70 miles an hour into a 90-degree corner that's set up as a 15 to 20 mile an hour corner. And this guy goes to yank it in, and I grabbed the steering wheel, yanked it back straight, and we go launching off the course straight. I mean, we're catching air, bouncing through stuff, and I'm screaming at him, "Get on the brakes! Step on the brakes!" So he gets on the brakes, gets a stop. We get, we kind of stop. We were still moving a little bit because I slammed it in the park, and I heard the transmission do the, and we stop, and we're sitting there for a second, and I was like, get out. And he got out.
Just go.
And I called the tower, said, hey, we've had a shutdown. They're like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, could you get a couple guys over here with some wrenches? And they're like, wrenches? I said, yeah, you got to unbolt the seat because that's the only way I'm getting out of this car right now because I sucked it all up. And they were all laughing. They're all laughing on the tower. Then one of the people who runs the facility got on and was like, well, I guess you sucked that whole seat up there, huh? Yeah, I did. I absolutely did.
You need an extract out of your fourth point of contact. Yeah, it works good.
They could have bolted me out of that seat because the only thing that was left sitting out of there was the seat post. Because man, oh my god, it was one of those that just. And then I got out of the car. I was like, yeah, I'm tapping out. Somebody else can ride with this guy.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
done.
bad.
I'm done.
All right, we digress. Okay.
Well, I mean that's how this works with the podcast. You know,
I mean, we go off on squirrel topics all the time. That's what makes it interesting.
squirrel.
Right, exactly.
I have an Indian.
Oh, jeez. We're back on this. We're back on this.
I'm always gonna kick back to that anyway. So,
All right, send it, fellas.
All right.
what do you got? What do you got? Come on.
Got?
You got the list up. I just have the stupid soundboard up.
Okay, so we can be fairly recent on this one.
Yes.
The drones that were in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Oh, Jesus.
That stuff.
Yeah.
So
It's not a problem. They are
No, not at all.
Yeah.
no, well, it actually did come out that it was just U.S. drones that are made, but huge. That's insane size.
Like easily the day one of, hey, we're flying some drones right now to deal with a situation, and you leave it at that.
But
instead of having people being like, these are drones. Oh no, it's just regular airplanes.
They were just testing though, but it was still testing.
Yeah.
But the size of the
So I will tell you what I saw in a certain area that those drones were nowhere near as big.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were big.
Yeah.
Well, Area 51, that's like people like a lot of the UFO sightings around the late 60s, early 70s were SR-71 Blackbirds coming out of
course.
51. So who knows what Skunk Works is actually working on over there? Because that's the government.
That's what sucked about living in Missouri. All right,
yeah.
I will tell you that's what sucked about living in Missouri back. Was it? Let's say I've been down here 6 years. That's what sucked because Skunk Works was 30 miles from me.
Yeah, so
we had all kinds of weird flying over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like we only know what they've let us know.
Yeah. My late father-in-law worked for Skunk Works.
Oh, okay.
So that's
he's got things he knew that
he knew stuff before he died that I don't care to know about.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. Do I really want to know about it? Like, well, we found out at the Bin Laden raid that we have stealth Blackbirds. Like, whoops.
yeah.
Oh, I guess we shouldn't have let that one get shot down.
Isn't it kind of funny how a movie comes out after an operation that you find out all this crap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the craziest one to me, like, is 13 hours. I've watched it a bunch of times, and it's like the lack of inaction by our government was pathetic.
It was the inaction by our government. It was inaction by, as I learned when we were in Vegas, there was one, and you'll meet one in September.
Yeah.
There was one that held a lot of those guys back. I truly think that they could have saved some lives if this one dude had actually acted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's kind of that catch-22 too. Like, it's easy for us to judge right now.
Hindsight 2020.
Because we know, like at this point now, we know the whole tactical situation.
Right.
So
okay, so let's go down that road.
Yeah.
Act of Valor. So when the guys were filming Act of Valor, that started out as a recruiting video.
That's a great movie.
Started as a recruiting video.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah. So when the Bendito brothers decided to produce that movie, it was one of those things that they said, we want to make it the most accurate as possible. I'll give you one scene as an example. A lot of every scene in that movie's happened.
Yeah.
Where they will never tell you. Mm-hmm. But so to give you an example, when Rourke and Wymie are running out to get to the rally point and they shoot it with a rocket.
Yeah.
You know them dumb wanted to do that with a 37 millimeter grenade.
Well, I heard they were very realistic on that set.
Well, no. So what happened was the directors are saying to the guys, okay, so you're going to come to the roadside and you're going to shoot this truck with a 37 millimeter grenade. And the guys looked at each other and they were like, no.
Yeah.
And he said, well, what do you mean? He said, I've been hitting the chest with a 37 millimeter grenade. It really doesn't do much until it goes off. So yeah, we need a rocket. And they said, hello, Pentagon. And they ordered up a rocket.
Oh, that's awesome.
Crazy.
Well, yeah,
So,
it's like the
you
boats
know-
when the fast boats came in and started to lighten up that area. Like, oh, that was
Right.
like,
When the Swift boats came in and started lighting up, that was one shot. They had one shot to make that scene because they went through 25,000 rounds of ammo.
oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
So rewind.
Yeah.
So when all that movie was coming down, I was still living in Missouri this time. I was sitting in the movie theater on the phone with Rourke, going, "Dude, this is awesome." he's like, "I know, it's pretty cool." But no, he was explaining what was going on. He goes, we told them exactly what it would take to do each in particular operation they wanted to feature.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I think is so cool about it is how they strung together X number of different operations
Yep.
that were real operational packages
Yep.
and created a story out of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it worked well. It honestly worked well.
So basically, from the time they came out with this movie, you obviously had to go through screening like everybody else would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rourke came out with his first book, Damn Few, and then I think one of the other guys, I can't remember which one, came out with another book, but it was they had to get Pentagon screening for all it. But it was just amazing what they came up with from that point forward. It was great.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, how'd that happen? Sorry,
Right?
Eric's doing some other stuff.
I'm doing some custodial work.
Keep him away from the buttons.
Yeah. Yeah. I gave him a soundboard. That's pretty much his only job. here
Explains a lot. Okay.
that's his only job, really. Is
I
to
press
deal with the
a
soundboard.
button and I'm
And
You had one job, Eric.
yeah. So he has a little soundboard and he can have his notes up and stuff so we can go back and forth.
Roger.
But that's his only job. And oh geez, the randomness that comes up when he when he starts hitting those damn buttons. So yeah, so this whole section here, he's not allowed around it because
you
I
own
love
this.
it.
He
Yeah,
owns that. I get it.
no, but the whole thing I was trying to get at with those drones is that's kind of insane how big they can make these
They're like
drones. Well,
refrigerators.
and you think about it though. Do you think about it? The first drones we really knew about before they had commercial drones that you could get, because I have a Star Wars drone for my son. A little quadricopter, and you think about like the Predator drone.
Oh, those
Yeah.
is huge. That's just that's not, I'm not even going to call that a drone. That's a plane that doesn't have
60-foot
somebody
wingspan?
driving it.
No.
It's a 60-foot wingspan.
Yeah.
And you're talking about
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
but
well,
these are SUV sized drones
Yeah.
which people aren't used to seeing
well,
just flying
and
around.
when you think about like the Predators and stuff, those are fixed wings. I mean, they're honestly just planes with remote control systems in them.
yeah,
Whereas now these
No, I
drones
agree with
with
that.
vertical takeoff and stuff, they're totally different. It's a whole different platform. I think it all came from the aliens at 51.
that's honestly the first time you've never done.
Soundboard
Looking
strikes.
for-
Yeah, it was.
No, you didn't look
No,
for-
I didn't look. I didn't do my
Every
alien
time-
look.
So every time he does that, he's looking for the rope to come down to come pick him up. Because
Yeah.
have you seen The Simpsons? When they try to pick up
He
Homer
likes
with
that probing, so we need to
Yes.
worry about that.
Yes, yeah, they've learned a lot about us.
But have you ever seen that Simpsons episode where they try to pick
We
up
just
Homer?
found a gerbil in there.
Oh, crap.
They try to pick up Homer with the tractor beam, the
Oh,
little.
yeah, and it's not strong enough to lift him up.
So he's looking for the rope to come pick him up.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
for the rope.
But those drones are honestly insane.
They're like the size of a car now.
Yeah, they're
Like
huge. They're the size of an SUV.
Yeah, they're big.
And
My question is, are they using Tesla batteries?
Oh, then we're screwed.
So, do you know the crazy thing about Tesla batteries?
No, I don't.
So, do you know what they are? It's
Fill
not
us
like
in.
this. It's a battery pack,
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
but it's
Little batteries, little cells put together.
So, do you know the batteries you use for like the flashlights?
Yeah.
The
6 volts?
I think it's like the 5180s or something like that. I don't remember the numbering.
2138s?
21. Yeah, it might be that.
I just made that up.
It's some numbering.
23, 24, whatever it takes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's some numbering, but it's essentially
I would
just
go
like
with the 5150s.
Atta boy.
There you go. A little shameless plug in there. Little shameless plug.
That's what I like.
But it's essentially just a bunch of those batteries, the ones that you use for your flashlights.
Oh, really?
It's a
Yeah.
bunch of those
Just tagged together. Yeah.
stacked together. Like
Yeah, but they
in-
weigh 4,000 pounds.
Yeah. Well, and that's why when they do a thermal runaway, they're so dangerous because you get the one set of batteries fixed, and then the short moves on to the next set, and those things will burn for days. So after the
Yes.
last big hurricane in Florida, they had a whole bunch of
imagine.
Teslas on the side of the road that would just be sitting there and go and catch on fire because salt water in a battery not necessarily
Probably
a
not.
great thing.
Probably
Which I mean, honestly, salt water with anything's not a good thing. It eats the crap out
No.
of everything.
But okay, so on the whole Tesla thing, did you ever see that video of the guy that had his Tesla for however long, and he needed to get his batteries replaced?
That was like $20,000,
It was
$24,000. Oh, was it?
It was
Dude, it's
40.
retarded.
Yeah.
I went to Round Rock the other day just on happenstance, and there was a bank of people lined up, and I'm like, really?
So I had a,
Is it? You went 20 miles.
I had a boss at work who had one and came into work overnight, and then the temperature dropped. You know, Arizona dropped 45 degrees overnight.
What are you talking
40
about?
degrees.
50.
Oh yeah, we did 50 the other day.
50.
We had a 50-degree drop overnight, and it was terrible.
Insane.
Yeah, because I rode my bike that night. And I came out in the morning. There was like frost on the seat. I'm like, oh no,
This is gonna suck.
my planning was terrible. But so she came to work, and overnight her battery died because the temperature drop was so low she couldn't get it anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I was like, she's like, hey, I hate to ask you, can you give me a ride home? I'm like, hey, no problem. I'll give you a ride home. I said, I got to go get some gas real quick. I'll be back in 3 minutes, and I'll have a 600-mile range out of the car. And she's like, she just looks at me and goes, shut up. And so what she had to do is she had to bring it. She didn't have a long enough cord to reach any of the cords in the area. So she had to bring a gas generator down to plug it in and charge it just enough to get it to a supercharger.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
Because where we
hilarious.
were at, we were 60 miles for the next supercharger. So for her to get, like, she had a 4 mile or 5 mile range by the time it was time to get done.
Oh,
so she had
crap.
to start a little Honda generator and I've never laughed so hard in my life. I was like, well, you should just leave that generator in your trunk. When you drive, you can just start it and put it on the trunk, and it might extend your range by 3 or 4 miles.
Oh my god.
Oh, I gave her so much crap about it all the time.
The cool thing about those though is that immediate torque.
No, that's true. I mean, there's something for performance wise, as far as if you're going to do a drag race or something, electric's great.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But then, if I'm going to drag race my car and I run out of fuel, I can literally fill it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Go.
Well, yeah. I mean, a 4-hour charge versus what 4.5 minutes at a freaking gas pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. And I don't think that, like, if you're living in a city where you drive 3 or 4 miles a day, then an electric car might make sense for you.
Still, hybrid.
I'm in Arizona. It's like I drive 30 miles to work, and it
Either
takes
way,
45
still.
minutes,
hybrid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hybrids are not
Hybrids
a bad way.
just
No, hybrid's the way to go. I don't think electric vehicles make any sense whatsoever. But hybrids, I'm totally for.
I think a diesel electric hybrid would be
Oh my
amazing
gosh, yeah.
because you get the long range and then you get the easy good, and you've got good torque on both. You can use a really small
Yep.
diesel engine.
okay, but we've talked about this with our diesel gates.
Yes.
Like
We both had Volkswagens.
Yeah.
about
Mine
diesel
got bought back. I think that was the smartest thing Volkswagen ever did was hide a cheater software. Screw the EPA. Ah.
Yeah, we don't need them. Whatever.
Do you know about Dieselgate? What that was?
I heard about it. Yeah.
Essentially, so we both had Jettas, diesel Jettas during that time frame. That
I would get 50 miles per gallon out of this car.
yeah,
And then when they fixed them all, they were getting like 42.
which still isn't bad.
Yeah, because all the emissions crap clogs up the system. Like
Yeah. No, I get that.
It's still not bad, but
No,
it
could be
takes
better.
But it took away the performance.
Oh, yeah,
and
it
that
took
was
away the performance
main
big
reason. Those things were awesome. I wish I still had that Jetta.
Dude, Jettas will run forever.
Yeah, they do.
I don't care what you would do to those cars; they would run forever.
Yeah, those diesel engines on those things were so rock solid. Like,
And
there
the
was
older
nothing you
ones
could do.
smelled like crayons.
All right, I'm going to cut you. I'm going to cut you for about 10 seconds so I can grab a charger. Hang on.
Go
Okay.
for it.
Electric.
Yeah, I like it. The idiots want to thank Sketchy Alias, one of our founding sponsors, for everything he has done for us. Sketchy works in vector-based design and has been working in the design field for 15 years.
His designs have been used on coins, apparel, websites, and logos. Sketchy is also a veteran who serves this great nation. Thank you for your friendship, work ethic, and service.
All right, guys, back from our little sponsor spot here. All right, so we've hit a few random topics. We're kind of broing out this episode. So I want to bring up this whole thing since we're in this older crowd right now.
Older crowd, Jesus.
Oh, crap. I think you just call me old, but all right.
It's okay. My first car was a one-horse chariot.
You know, there was actually electric cars before there was gas cars.
Yes,
I know.
Most random thing.
Yeah, and why didn't they stick around? Oh, because they
Because
suck.
they weren't efficient.
Yeah, because they suck.
But the topic.
Speaking of things that suck, what are you doing, buddy? How's your day going? I've got an Indian.
Wow. That escalated quickly, Aaron.
Yes, yeah, I return fire pretty hard every once in a while.
I was going to say, all right, shots fired.
All right, let's go. Shots down range.
So the thing I was going to bring up is, so remember back in the day.
Back in the day.
I'm throwing
Wow.
myself in this one.
I'm f***ing older than both y'all.
Just barely.
Well, I'm
barely
46.
older
Where are
than
you
Eric.
at?
I'm 50.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you have 4 years. We're at least in the same generation. We're Gen X.
Yeah, that's true.
So this millennial here.
Yeah, technically. Yeah, technically.
My feelings hurt.
I'm not that kind of
No, I know,
millennial.
yeah.
But
That's okay because sometimes feelings are, necessary to have.
Feelings are important.
They are
It's the other F word. It's okay.
I like that. Oh my God. I'm going to use that totally when I have guys like,
I cannot take credit for that. We'll
No?
talk about it later.
okay.
okay, so
Tanya?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So when I was in elementary school, this was a thing. So you guys were probably
Sweet
in high
Jesus.
school. So you guys are probably in high school, college. But being able to spread that rumor about Marilyn Manson. Do you know what rumor I'm talking about?
The rib rumor?
The rib.
Yeah.
So having a rib removed with that, so that he could.
You know, what's crazy is that the guy with the Indian is the one who brought this up.
So the rumor was
I'm just saying.
he had a rib removed so that he could suck.
He could
something.
perform fellatio on himself.
There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the scientific way.
That way we don't have to bleep it.
Yeah, we'd have to bleep that one out. TikTok just removed us, but that's fine.
But
Yeah,
they
that's all
already
right.
hate us anyway.
They're Chinese anyway.
Yeah.
But the fact we were able to do that back then without the advent of social media or cell phones, even.
Well,
like,
you got to
that's-
remember though, even then, like that's when AOL chats had started and email was there.
It was before that, though. If you really think about it, it was before the AOL chats. Really,
It was pretty
in the
close.
90s.
Pretty close, but
It was-
still.
yeah, it was okay. So we'll say right around that time.
Yeah, right
but it was
around
like
that
mid '90s.
MTV pushed that out. I remember that being on MTV.
Yeah, no, that was an
And it was
MTV thing.
that was an interview with him, and he said, "No, I haven't had a rib removed," and that's kind of where that started.
No, I think
That was back when
probably
MTV actually played music
Videos.
instead of freaking, the real world and all
Real
that.
world
crap.
6,324, and we have nothing
Right.
to do with what the real world is really like.
That was back when TRL was a thing.
Right? Actually, before then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Remember the first video? What was the first video played on MTV?
oh, no clue.
Do you remember?
Steve,
I don't.
It's, oh my God, it's in my chicks for free. We don't need no microwave ovens.
one of the best songs ever freaking played on a guitar.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the
Sultans
actual
of
song.
Suede from them.
Yeah, but anyway, it was like the first one because in that he said I don't need a microwave ovens, kitchen delivery, and then he talks about I just need to play a guitar and have my videos on MTV, and that was like that's why they played that as the first video.
Yeah.
So
Was it Sultans of Swing?
No, that was the second song. It was
you can look it up. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Dire
I got the second
Straits,
one.
but I cannot remember the name of the song.
It's like
I can't look this one up because got this thing going. So
yeah, I'll look it up.
I'm the one not doing
It's
this.
Dire Straits, but I cannot remember the name of the song.
Yeah.
Okay, well he's looking
Because he has by far the greatest guitar rip of all time.
Oh yeah, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Video killed the radio star.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Video
Okay.
killed the radio star, and we just got monetized.
Not
Not by us.
Right?
Yeah.
Not by us.
Copyright infringement.
Well, the good thing is it was me singing it, so it's not even going to pick it up.
Valid. Okay. That'll work.
No, but the fact that back then, so
Yeah,
us
rumors
old
would
people,
fly. Like you could make that.
You
a
could
thing.
make that a thing, and that was social media. Now is the thing that
drives that.
Yeah, but we were able to do that back then.
You know
and
why?
that was,
I can tell you why.
why?
Because we
Why?
were social.
No.
We
Yes.
talked to people. You hung out with
Yeah,
your
you
friends,
actually
and
had
then your friends-
conversations
and your
instead of
friend-
freaking text messages.
Exactly. Like BRB.
Oh God, it used to drive me nuts with my kids.
Oh,
So really?
yes. Well, and now they've got like the Sigma and this and Ohio and all these extra words that they came up with. I'm sure we did the same
Rizzy-kazoo.
thing. Yeah, so I came up with a new one. Like Riz is that charisma. So I call it the Rizzy Kazoo. I've got a Rizzy Kazoo.
You want to spell charisma again?
No. So, dude,
That was what.
that was a great episode.
Really?
So I spelled charisma. I said CHRISM. And I was like, I totally forgot the A. Totally forgot to add the A at
But
the
he
end.
had
It was
this-
like, I had this look of like, I just smugged you.
Smug look
I
on his
totally
face.
spelled it and you didn't know how to spell it. And then he was like, did you forget the A? I was like, oh, shoot, I did.
It was great.
Charism?
Charisma. No, but that's I think this is a lost art, honestly. Like the being able to speak.
Speaking to people?
Yeah, that's always a plus.
Why do you think this podcast is so successful? Because I know how to talk and you just sit there and laugh.
That is true. I do laugh at you a lot.
Yeah, well,
You
say
do
some
laugh a
good
lot, but it's okay.
things. Well, it's because he drives an Indian.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah.
That almost sounded like a certain kind of gas expungement.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
Okay.
That one was a little lumpy.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I got you.
Oh,
Timing was perfect.
jeez. That was
Okay.
my first spit take.
Oh, there we go. But no, you're right. Like it was crazy how you could get those rumors would fly, and we didn't have, like you said, the social media that makes them go quick.
Dude, it's so much worse than social media. I swear if I did
yeah.
not need it for work, I would never do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably.
perception's 90%, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what happens. You and God have a dispute or whatever, and all of a sudden, you post something. It might be something related to work. It might be something related to personal, whatever. People end up interpreting it so freaking wrong.
Oh yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God, what's going on with you guys?
Oh my God.
Nothing. I was talking about the fact I had to go to work on Christmas Eve. Give me a break.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I hate social media.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
it-
as well. I
it-
can't stand it.
It spreads the rumors worse than what we did back in the day. Which
Oh
was,
yeah.
It was kind of word of mouth. You're at the playground or
You hear it at the bar, you hear it at the playground, whatever. I mean, now God and everybody knows about it. That's why I don't want my personal life freaking launched all over social media.
Well, yeah, that's the same thing with me. So, like, I've had guys tell me, like, "Well, you're the president of the club. Why don't you post more stuff?" I'm like, I don't post anything. Like, my social
Yeah.
media is like, I might post something like once a month. Like, I know I just reposted what you had put up there with the Chad O Foundation.
Yeah.
And And I'll repost certain things here and there, but as far as my personal life, very little. Like it's hard to find my footprint on there. Like it's
and
there
I
a
swear
little
to
bit, but
God, dude, if anybody says that Siri or Alexa or whatever is not listening,
oh, they're
they're
listening.
full of.
Yeah, so like I actually
got a great example.
God and I talked about that the other night. Her mom, right after one of there was some Patriot Act stuff or something like that. She was like, "Oh, freaking out. Oh my God, do you think they're really listening to my phone?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course they are." And she goes, "Well,
I will
it'll
tell
be fine.
you,
I just got an Alexa to help out." And I'm like, "You just literally gave them a key to your house." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "That thing's listening to you 24/7."
Yeah.
this is no. I could have a conversation with my sister, freaking 987 miles away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Within 3 minutes, it's on my phone as a suggested post or some
Yeah.
bull.
Oh, are you interested in, like, we talked about our motors blowing up. Oh, are you interested in a new vehicle now? Like, all of a sudden, Facebook knows that we got a new vehicle, that we were looking at new
Hand to
vehicles.
God, dude. I had a conversation with my sister about something that's going on in her life. There again, it's just me being a brother.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes, I go on Instagram and it's like, oh, so this. No.
No.
Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So there's I have two things for this. So there's a podcast that I do listen to that they were talking about. It's actually the algorithm, which is, if you really think about it, it kind of is a scarier thing than
AI.
if they're actually listening to you. The algorithm starts putting stuff in your feed based on like your locations and stuff like that. I think that's probably scarier than that's actually listening to you. Because
because I say some really dumb. I don't need that thing.
So
to
do
listen to me.
I.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like if it's just the algorithm that's doing this, that's putting this stuff in your feed, because it's like, okay, this person does this. They interact with this person. They were in location with this person. They're probably going to think of guitars or this or that.
I don't know, because there's literally been things when I've been like sitting there talking with a wife and like, oh, what do you want for Christmas? Yeah, I'm looking at this new part for the Harley, and all of a sudden,
you start getting
Harley. That exact part starts showing up on my Facebook feed.
So
that's listening to me. There's no way.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Isn't that scarier though? That the algorithm
that the AI knows. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Would know that.
No.
Skynet's becoming aware.
But you know what I mean? Like, I think that's probably scarier than it's listening to you, because it knows I don't even want to say human condition, but it knows what you're thinking before you do, essentially.
Yeah.
I can send one of my partners a text about a part, and within 5 to 10 minutes, everything one or more of my feeds is related to said part.
Yeah. Well, but that's freaky.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Isn't that scarier that it knows that before than if it was actually listening to your...
Now you add that to drones, and all of a sudden it starts having drones land near your house with, hey, I've got these parts for you.
I got these parts you might need.
And that, I don't think that's too far off, honestly.
That could be a thing.
Bezos.
Don't know if it's actually true, but if that thought process is probably worse than it's listening to you. Me personally, that's what I think.
Predictive analysis is
Well,
scary.
That's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way they can predict what we're going to talk about. They can nowhere predict what we're thinking about, dealing with, whatever, and all of a sudden spit that up.
Yeah, I think it's honestly they're all listening to you 24/7.
And I think so too, but that thought I think is worse.
Yeah.
But my second thing to that was, so I remember I was talking to a buddy at work, and we started talking about, he was talking about being out in southern Arizona, and you go to like a donut shop and they have the little conchitas, the little conch shell, like the Mexican donut type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also known in Texas as a colache.
Yeah. So we were talking about that on my way home that day. In my feed, I get a... Are
you looking for colaches? They're here.
It was slippers that were like behind like those little conchitas, like little.
My God.
I was like,
well, but the thing is it knows you drive an Indian, and you would probably wear those slippers. while you're riding your bike.
But I was like, what the hell?
No, it's that type of stuff is super scary. Like they listen to everything we're saying.
They do. I don't care what it is. You know, you could be going through the happiest time or the saddest part of your life, and they're gonna find out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but what, because I know I've talked about a lot of random things too that never came out, that never popped up in my feed. So
I was
I'm
going to
like,
say
what?
something about random things that never came out, like Ubi.
Oh, of course.
Oof.
I'm sure you've had those conversations too, though.
When you fart, it sounds like the wind blowing through the Grand Canyon.
But I'm sure you've had those conversations too, where it never popped up in your feed.
Oh yeah, no,
It just did.
yeah, it just did. Now all of a sudden he's going to look and it's going to be like, "Is your yep." Man, I'm glad we're keeping you busy for the holidays. That's awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate
I'm good
it.
with it.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, I'm definitely good.
I
with it.
appreciate it.
But yeah, that's. I don't know where to go from there.
You're so lost.
I'm done. I'm done.
Lost on this.
I'm tapping out. I'm gonna have to get another.
Yes.
That'll have to be.
Yes, it will. But so, is there anything you wanted to bring up? Any topical things that have come up in your life?
So I know
Well, let's talk professional for a minute.
Yeah, there we
So,
go.
can't get off subject.
Yeah.
So professionally, anyway, we were actually nominated for a second Gundy Award. So for whoever is not familiar with the Gundys, it is basically the Academy Awards of the 2A community.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so this is the second year in a row. Hopefully, we'll get to the show this year. So we'll do a huge award ceremony at SHOT Show and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's pretty awesome that our fans and followers are starting to wake up to the evolution.
Good.
Awesome.
So like with the Gundy Award, like other than granted the award, obviously, do you think that will propel you guys a little bit more into the future and continuing that innovation that you guys are already really big on?
Well, so obviously we've been focused on LE military, but yeah, this kind of gets us in the commercial limelight, if you want to call it that. When we first launched in 2022, they didn't understand what we were trying to go after. I had multiple people say, you know what, you're thinking of stuff that nobody's ever about before. But that's just what we do. Whether it's our new patented ambidextrous system that we just came out with, or the rack system or whatever, we try to stay ahead of the game. So I think with this Gundy's, if we have the opportunity to get to the show, I think it's going to really raise awareness to us.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, and that's a good thing too. Like you guys have phenomenal systems, and I saw some of the custom ones you brought last year to Warrior Weekend, and oh my gosh, they are amazing systems. They really are. Like I was drooling over all of them because I knew once the bidding started, I was outbid very quickly. But they're like super beautiful, just well put together, amazing firearms.
Well, wait until this year. This year with the range experience and everything else, if I can get people out to a mile, like I said last year, I don't do anything twice
Yeah.
as far as custom work is concerned. So we're going to bring probably our AR-10. I will do something kind of funky with that, but I have an ELR gun that I'm going to do a duplicate of. That'll be the rifle that I do or that I shoot for all the entire season.
Okay.
It'll be a duplicate rifle that I will unveil probably after the auction. If somebody doesn't buy it at the range experience, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to sell it for as much money as I can to get to them. I'm donating it myself. It's my own personal donation.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's good to get those because I'll tell you, there's just everything at the auction last year was all top notch. Getting signatures from everybody on there, TIG on the one or two of them, I think, and then Lieutenant Colonel Gadsden on the other.
Yeah.
Just it was so amazing to be surrounded by all these heroes and warriors, like really to see these guys and
Dude,
like
that's what we bring to Warrior Weekend. I mean, we want to bring. It's not so much we get the biggest and baddest around. Obviously, that's the end game. But
yeah.
we want to raise money for the people that we're benefiting.
Yeah.
And I was kind of sad that I popped up on stage when Gadsden, our second rifle that we donated,
Yeah.
kind of went off. That was one of those things that it's like, you know what, I want this to go for more. So, John, who has been, I think, our number one sponsor for the last couple of years, he's going to come down here and do a long range class with me. I threw that in there.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, we pride ourselves on giving back. So that's what we want to do. But the ELR gun that I'm going to auction off will be unveiled when you guys come down for Corporal Chad's event in April.
Yep.
I mean, nobody knows about it at all. Even Tanya doesn't know anything about it. I should probably kick my ass for it, but whatever. But yeah, it's one of those things I wanted to do. I've been representing Corporal Chad for a number of years, and this is just the year to take it over the top.
Good.
That's
Good.
awesome.
I like it.
That's awesome. You have anything?
No, I just had a really bad burp. Other than that, I'm good.
All right. Well, I'm thinking this is probably a good spot.
Probably a good spot for us to call for the
Probably
day.
a good spot.
All right. Well,
Did you have any other questions? Because I know you want to ask me more personal questions.
So I know you've spoken a lot about Miss Tanya Glenn, who is one of my
Yes.
great friends. And so, what is your relationship with Tanya?
So
Complicated /
go for the jugular, bro.
Hey,
Go
if
for
I'm
the
going to go
jugular.
in, I'm going to go right in for it.
Yeah, no, okay. So I will answer this cautiously, and I say that for a reason. I don't like my personal life being broadcast across the world. But I will tell you this: that I will tell you what the public knows. How's that sound?
That's
sounds
perfect. That's perfect.
So Tanya and I met Veterans Day of 2022 at an event that I co-hosted. I think I mentioned it earlier with Matt from Staccato
Yes.
for Corporal Chad, called Aiming for Impact.
Yep.
From the moment I saw that woman, I knew that she was it. Listening to her talk, and then obviously learning about what she does, she's amazing. I spent the next 2 years, 6 months, 9 days, we'll just call it even, investing everything that I could in learning more about her as an individual. Not only that, but obviously her practice, right?
Yeah.
So we were together for about a year and a half on a personal level. I love that woman with everything that I have in my soul. And you guys know, I mean, you guys are males, but you start breaching that personal and professional level. That line of demarcation tends to go south.
Yep.
That's pretty much what happened with us. Coupled with the fact that I was dealing with, the imminent death of my father, kind of spirit, kind of breached that goal where, starts going sideways.
Yeah.
I call it the trifecta of the perfect storm. I had the acute stress response, delayed stress response, and cumulative stress response all hitting at once. So I imploded. So we parted ways for a number of months. But shortly before she did your podcast, we reconnected, and that's pretty much where I'm gonna end our relationship details.
Information, yeah.
Just know that she's my ride or die. She is the love of my life, and she always will be. No matter where God takes us, that's just where it goes. She's an amazing woman. She's an amazing clinician. She's done a lot for veterans and first responders. She's salt of the earth. She's just absolutely awesome.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the most telling things was when you and I met. I remember you bringing up, "Oh, do you know Tanya?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, love her." And I told you about my experience with peer support with her. And
yeah, sure.
And you had mentioned, we were in a relationship for a while, and what tells me is how much you respect and love her is that you said, I could never say a bad thing about her, even though we're not together right now.
Yep.
I could never say a bad thing about this woman because she is the best at what she does and she's a wonderful human being. And that says, one, a lot for her, but it says number 2 and number 3, 4, 5, and 6 for me. It says a lot about you. Well, and I've always said that, like, before I met God,
Yep.
i.e. wife, that I had to have had that really bad relationship
Yep.
prior to our relationship to understand what I really wanted. Yeah. Believe me, we've been married 19 years, so it's been there's been a bumpy road, hitting a couple of trees, sliding off into the water, having bad things happen and coming back around in a circle.
Yep.
It's something that was busy, but I think we're the right people to. I mean,
no,
right
you're absolutely spot on correct.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's once again why I don't say my wife's name on the podcast,
right?
Because she is a public figure here and there, and that's where I'll leave that at that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I truly believe that God has a plan, and God's plan for us is greater than neither one of us can see.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm willing to let him take control this time. No, she's just an amazing person. She's my best friend.
Well, the thing is, I think amazing people end up together. And once again, you're an amazing guy. I appreciate that. You do so much for the community around you, and people don't understand the work, the dedication that it takes to do it day in and out. And you're one of those guys that does it day in and day out, which is why we wanted you on the podcast. We're trying to bring people here that do stuff for the outside community. Every single one of our guests so far, other than obviously the live guests at Bike Week, because that's a whole different situation, but our actual guests that we bring on are all people who make an impact in the world around them. And that's why we wanted you on there. And I know we talked right after Tanya was on. And I can't.
As you can tell by the background.
Yeah, same background.
The background.
Well, same with us too. Ours is the same every time too. So, but it's because it's in my garage. But honestly, I mean, it's so good to have you on here, Steve. I'm glad you were able to come on and spend some time with us today. Have some laughs and have some stuff that's not going to make it anywhere, and some stuff that's going to make it. Because there's some stuff we're cutting out of here for this one because there's
certain stuff that's just going to get cut completely.
And then I want to say,
we're probably going to have to cut that out. But
this is probably going to be one of our best score movers for our for the cuss score. I like it
absolutely.
At least I did something right.
Hey, you're making some long range shots from over there in Texas, so that's some good stuff. So once again, I want to thank you, and
I thank you.
And as always,
actually, before that,
yeah.
So, is there anything you want to shout out before we close up?
Yes.
Anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to put out? If you want to put out any social media you have.
Yes.
51fifty Rifles. We are at 51fifty Rifles on Instagram and Facebook. Again, we have revolutionized the AR platform, but we also have some new bolt action and precision rifles, similar to what I shoot in the extreme long range coming out. I don't care about my personal stuff. I don't really feed into all that nonsense. But definitely go over and follow warriorshield.org, as well as corporalchado.org. That is our 2025 recipient for Warrior Shield Weekend, and we are excited to have them. They are family to me, and it's nice to merge both families in together.
Awesome. So on that note, we always close with the same thing, and it's going to be live good,
ride hard,
and we'll catch you next time.
Be good, all.